Rabbi Say, you're in for a gem of a piece yet again this week. This time it's from the Sefer Chaste. Hashem, actually, I didn't know the Mechabris from this community. HaRav Mordechai Krieger, Oliver Sholem, a fantastic yid. You sat back and enjoyed. Shalom Uvrach, and welcome to the weekly piece on the Parsha from Torah Giants on Chumash, written by Rabbi Goodmans, the Rabbi Emeritus of Young Yisrael Rockaway. Sit back and enjoy.
Welcome to Torah Giants on Chumash. I'm Steve Geller. With an introduction like that, let's jump right into another amazing piece brought to us by Rabbi Goodmans and the Goan, HaRav Eytan Feiner, taking it and blasting it into outer space. This week in our Parsha, and the land shall not be sold in perpetuity, for the land is mine. You are merely migrants and visitors to me. Throughout the land that you possess, Geulah titnu la'aretz, you must allow the land to be redeemed. The key to these laws is the recognition that Hashem is the true owner of Eretz Yisrael. If a Jew were to write a contract for the sale of his inheritance and stipulate that he guarantees the new owner perpetual rights to a field, he would transgress the law, for it would indicate that he considers himself the absolute master of the property. On the other hand, the buyer who returns the property to the holder of the inheritance acknowledges that he recognizes Hashem as master of the land and is credited with the mitzvah of Geulah la'aretz, redeeming the land. Let's see how the Hebrew word for Geulah differs from another term of redemption, Pidyon. Geulah is simply a change of ownership with no change to the object at all. In a pidyon, a new status is created in the object itself. For example, the 5 silver coins given to the Goan in the redemption of a Behar, a firstborn male, remove any special status of sanctity from him, and he becomes an ordinary Jewish baby. The redemption of Meiser Sheni, or certain objects belonging to the temple, releases the sanctity from those objects, and the coins become holy with special restrictions on their use. Thus, the use of Hashem's Geulah in our verse is perfect, for it means that Hashem's land has just passed from one temporary owner to another, with the land's status remaining unchanged. We can now appreciate the perfection of the expression used in our morning davening, which utilizes both roots. In our morning davening, we say, "Mimitzrayim goaltanu Hashem Elokeinu," you redeemed us from Egypt, Hashem, "Umibeis avadim pidisanu," and you liberated us from the house of bondage. Our release from Egypt was a simple geographical exodus from Egypt to freedom. The second phrase, however, represents the change in our status from servants of Paro to becoming servants of Hashem. This also explains the double phrase used in the first verse of the 10 Commandments. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am Hashem your God, Asher Hotzeisicha mi'eretz Mitzrayim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, mi beis avadim, out of the house of bondage. And now we know why this is no longer considered a repetition. The bracha in the Haggadah that concludes the recital of our Exodus begins by blessing Hashem for the Geulah, mentioning only from Egypt in conformity with the above analysis. Al Geuloseinu Near the conclusion, we look forward to the end of days when we will thank Hashem with a new song for our Geulah and for the pidyon of our lives. Curiously, the bracha ends, Baruch atah Hashem Goal Yisrael, mentioning only the Geulah. To explain why the bracha ends this way and give us a much deeper insight into this entire distinction between Geulah and pidyon, as only he can, we're once again so fortunate to have the Goan, HaRav Eytan Feiner, Rav of Congregation Knesset Yisrael, the White Shul in Far Rockaway, New York.
Shalom Uvracha, such a pleasure and a schos to join once again this fantastic Rabbi Steve Geller podcast based on Rabbi Goodmans' unbelievable work, Torah Giants on Chumash. Rabbi Say, you're in for a gem of a piece yet again this week. A beautiful insight regarding the distinction drawn between the lashon, the terminology of a Geulah, Gimel, Aleph, Lamed, the etymology, the shoresh of Geulah, and contradistinction to Pidyon, a lashon of Pei Dalet Hey, of redeeming. Perhaps if we could just add one little nakuda, one little insight. If we see, and we just heard that the difference is that a Geulah means I'm taking you from one place, one location to another, as opposed to what seems to be a more profound indication of the word Pidyon, that I'm changing the actual Metzias. I'm effecting a change in the reality of something. So by saying, what's the Ikar? Is the Ikar going from one place to the other? The Ikar is no, undergoing this beautiful, fantastic transformation. I'm no longer never to Paro. My Metzias, my actual essential, my existential self, and my identity, my core identity is now transitioning from an Evet to Paro, henceforth an Evet Hashem. So that's That's the Iker. And yet, what do we know it as? The Geulah. How do we finish it? Not Mebeis Avodah B'Nisano, and then we're Baruch Hashem. Pod Yisrael, it's Baruch Hashem, the Siyum and the Mus is Geulah Yisrael. And what do we talk about? The Geulah Shlema, the Geulah Asida. Tzeitiv Yitzalti V'Galti. Understand, in my download the Shonos of Geulah, and the 4 cups, Keneged, the 4 terminologies of Geulah, we don't have one Keneged corresponding to B'diya, but Tzeitiv Yitzalti V'Galti, V'Lakachti Liliam, and it's Geulah Yisrael, and it's the Geulah, and Geulah Asida, and Geulah Shlema. Everybody was davening for the Geulah. What do you mean davening for the Geulah? The Geulah is great. Hashem, we want so much more than the Geulah. We want a Padiyah. And we want to become different dimension, different people, Legamri, and new Metzias when Mashiach comes. And we will be. We're going to be absorbed, Shakua Legamri, and learning Torah, doing mitzvahs, Samasim Tovim, engaged in the greatest, most righteous acts, day in and day out, incessantly. Says, isn't that what we're longing for? Isn't that what we're pining for? And yet we see it's Devarim Gedolim, Einam Mikra, nothing is coincidental. The terminology always is, I can't wait for the Geulah. The Geulah Shlema, the Geulah Asida, a Geulah. Rabbi said the higher level is not me Mitzrayim Yaltanu, me based on what B'Nisanu. Let's dive in for the Padiyah. What's going on here? And I think the answer is obvious. Hashem says, and by the night of Yetzias Mitzrayim, I gave you a freebie. You didn't really do everything you needed to do. As we know, Pesach has Loshen D looks skipping over. As we know from the B'nai Yisachar and so many other Sefarim that by Pesach Hashem passed over the Yisurusa de Latasa, the Hisoris Melamata, the inspiration that he typically mandates from Klai Yisrael below, that we have to earn the Geulah. Hashem says, I'm giving you a freebie. I'm going to give you a Geulah. I'm going to give you a Padiyah. Even though you're over the Zohar and you're holding a Memta Shari Tuma, you're at the nadir of all depravity and perversity, I'm still going to take you out and form your Zayshah. That was a freebie, but Hashem says, you want the Geulah? A Geulah I'll give you. You want me to take you from Chutz La'aretz to Eretz Yisrael? I'll give you Eretz Yisrael. I'll give you a Geulah Asida. So you want a Padiyah? Amor Rabboisa Yedidai, you got to do that yourselves. You have to transform yourselves. I gave you a freebie the night of Mitzrayim. I mean, Mitzrayim got Tanu Hashem Akenu and Beis Avodah B'Nisanu, and that was a gift. And that was Pesach Loshen D. I skipped over the Yisur Dilatasa. But Hashem says, no, don't call it a Padiyah. You want to Geulah Asida. I'll do my job, but you, Klai, so you got to do yours. I will bring you Mashiach Tzidkenu. I'll get rid of all the Shiva Malchias. I will take you from Chutz La'aretz and Eretz Yisrael. And thus we refer to it always as a Geulah Asida, as a Geulah Shlema. You want a Padiyah? I'm not doing that for you. Klai Yisrael, you want that? You got to do that yourselves. Growth can only come through change, long-lasting, everlasting, meaningful change. I expect that if you, Klai Yisrael, I gave you the freebie once at the very outset when I formed you as a nation. At the moment of the Shas Leidas Yitzir Sa'am, and yes, I picked you up and I gave you a freebie. And no more freebies, my dear friends. You want it, you got to work, you got to schwitz. You got to transform yourselves. Real growth, meaningful growth will only come through change. Change yourselves. You will undergo the Padiyah. I'll give you the Geulah. Together, we'll make it happen.
Friends, there is literally no other place where you will find both an amazing piece from the Sefer Chazdei Hashem with that beautiful piece expounded upon by a contemporary of the author and one of the Gedolei Torah of our time, Rav Eytan Feiner. That's why you should like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and most importantly, hit the share button to send the link to your friends and family so everyone knows where to find this latest wondrous gem from Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Goodman's life's work, Torah Giants on Chumash.